Ooh, this lighting. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe, right? So you guys can stay updated. Yeah. So I've been asked by a lot of like moms, those who aren't moms and those who are currently pregnant, etc., exactly what I used, like newborn essentials basically, and what I use straight from the hospital. So this video is basically just gonna let you guys know exactly what I used. So I'm gonna start off with myself and not my son as yet. So for me, I have recommended in my previous video the labor prep tea by Stork. I will put the link in there and I will insert a picture somewhere. But yeah, this, I took it from like my 37th week of being pregnant, and I drank it as often as 2 cups a day, and I feel like personally it helped down their stretch. So I just carried on drinking the remainder of the tea after I gave birth. I felt like it helped me recover quicker. I'm not sure if it exactly did, like there's no science, but I just felt better drinking it and I like the taste. So that's number one. Number two, the raspberry leaf tea, I kept drinking that as well. I feel like it helped me recover, and I was already used to the taste of these things. So the raspberry, I drank it. I didn't exactly drink it hot. I used to like take the tea bag, put it in my bottled water. Let me show you guys. I had a bottle about this size, not this one, but about this size, filled with water every day, put the tea bag in there and just put it in the fridge. And I used to drink it like cold because I just preferred, like, couldn't have too much hot tea during the day. So I used to have like the full bottle every day from the time I was like 37 weeks, right? So I just carried that on after I gave birth. So as you guys know, I did not exactly have like a, how do I put this? I didn't have a tough delivery. So I feel like I recovered quickly, and here's what I used to help. Like, let me explain this to you, right? Saying I didn't have a tough delivery, like I've heard, very bad delivery stories. Like my mom's story was that she felt one leg in Grosley, for those who are Lucian, one leg in the north of the island basically, and one in the south, right? And she just felt like some big thing was coming out, yo. But my story wasn't as bad, but I still had a lot of bad shit dealing with. So, you know, after you deliver, down there is going to be pretty sore and it's going to hurt. Please, if you have like, if you kind of handle the information, or if you're not pregnant or not about to deliver or whatever, or if you're male, like you can just skip forward or just go to another video. Yeah, because it's getting pretty intense and only the ladies will understand. So down there hurts like a mother. Let me explain something to you. After you give birth, the last thing you want to do, or the last thing you can possibly do, is go to the toilet. Yo, when you have to urinate, it just feels so bad. It burns because down there just delivered something that was literally about this big, so it burns. So this is what I used to basically cool it off, because as you know, after you give birth you need to use like these maternity pads. I wish I had one here to show you guys, but I don't have any. So I used to take the pad basically and open this. This is witch hazel, right? And it's already on, let me show you guys. It's already on little pads, like little, let me take one out. So it's already on this and it's pretty cooling. So you just take like 3 of these and you layer the pad, the sanitary napkin, before you put it on, and you just put this on, right? So since it's cotton, it kind of absorbs whatever comes out of your down there, these chickens there. So it absorbs it, so it's pretty cooling and it makes you feel a little better after you use the toilet and you put the pad on. So I recommend this. I used it I used it like for about 2 weeks after I delivered, for the entire time that I was pretty much using pads. And when my flow kind of lightened, I stopped because I felt like I did not need it anymore. So this is number one. Number two, where is it? This. My darlings, you know, down there burns, as I said a while ago, right? So the nurses and doctors, why do I have so many chickens? Anyways, the nurses and doctors would recommend that you kind of use a salt water rinse after you use the bathroom, because it kind of helps down there ease out a little bit, because you know it's kind of stings and stuff. So I got these bottles online. Someone recommended it. I don't remember who she was, but she recommended it. I came in a free pack. So I used to put warm water in there and put some salt in there, and whenever I use the bathroom, I literally just like, it's like a spray bottle kind of, so you can open it up and you can just, you guys heard that, right? Yeah, so you can just splash the water up there without having to physically sit over a tub or whatever. Like, you can just splash it, right? And it just falls out, and you can just dab off the little excess water and put your stuff back on, and you're good to go. You just got a nice little rinse. It doesn't sting anymore. I recommend this. You should get this. I bought a free pack and I only used one, but I used it the entire time after I gave birth. I used it for like the first 2 months after I gave birth, and I got so used to it it just became the next norm. And it also helps you, the salt water also helps you heal down there a lot quicker. So this is number two. Number three, after you give birth, since if you're breastfeeding, you tend to leak, right? Now, no one wants a situation where you're leaking, you're probably out with your newborn, out with your baby daddy or whoever, and you're literally seeing milk coming through your clothes. So my sister passed me down these, right? It is basically pads to put in your bra, kind of, and it prevents the milk from coming. It holds the milk, the excess milk that comes out, and it prevents it from wetting your clothes on the outside, right? Now, I felt like I did not want to use these. My sister told me that they're washable and whatnot. I felt like, you know what? I'm gonna be a little classy and get like the Amazon ones that are disposable, and you can just peel it out and stick it on the bra, etc. I got those and I was frustrated. I used to stick it on the bra, put the bra on. When I go out, this thing unstuck and it was all over the place and it was dancing, and it was just irritating me to the point where I just packed them on the side and I started using what my sister recommended, the good old pads that you just put in there, and it's like leak proof on this end, so it prevents it from passing out. And they had all different designs and whatnot, so it was pretty cool. I felt comfortable with those instead. So I recommend getting those. Even if you feel like maybe you're not breastfeeding or whatever, but the second you give birth, your boobs are so full with milk that they're gonna want to come out, and most likely you're probably feeding your child. Like me, I normally used to feed my newborn on this end, right? I used to hold him this way, so he fed a lot from this boob but not from this one. So as a result, this one ended up with a lot of excess milk, and I had to use this a lot more often. So that's my next recommendation. Next up is the good old waist trainer. So when a lot of people ask me, how did I bounce back so quickly? My mom told me a little story that her mom told her that the second you give birth, you get out. Once you feel comfortable, you lay back and you strap on this. I ordered one that came in free. So it's a set of three. This one, you strap it onto your hips. So this is a little demonstration, right? Let me take out this mic. In fact, I'll leave it. The little demonstration. You strap this one on your hips like so. You can pull it in tighter if you want to. So it's gonna hold there in. Next, you go in with the second one. There were so many. You strap the second one in. It's upside down. You strap it in like so. Woo! Oh gosh. Yes, you strap it in like so. And you can even clench this in tighter if you want. You see how stretchy this is? You can clench this in tighter if you feel like it. You see? And then you have a third one for perfect back support. And you strap it in like so. So when you're done, you literally strapped in from like the hip up. Now I did not put it as tight as because I don't really have a belly anymore, so yeah. But this is how it kind of looks, and it basically gives you support. It has the iron in the back, and it gives you support all the way down, and it helps your stomach go back where it's supposed to be. It also helps your hips, because as you guys know, when you let me take this off. Bitch can't breathe. Whew. As you guys know, when you're getting ready to give birth, your body, your hips naturally widens. So the first one I put on helps your hips go back in place after you give birth. So I recommend this a lot. It was a little bit tough for me to put it on exactly after I gave birth to my son. So I waited like, I think, what was it, until the following day when I went home, and I strapped it on then, and I tried to keep it on as much as I could, as long as I could. It's not easy. I am gonna be honest with you. It is not easy keeping this on. I felt like I couldn't breathe, and if you're like me, I wanted to bounce back as quick as possible, so I had it super tight. And yo, I was like, throughout the day, this is how I was going. So I recommend you starting out loose at first, because your body takes time to heal. Don't be like me and try and rush things, because it did not end well. But I recommend this. I highly recommend this. It helps me. It helped my back as well. Especially it helped me sit up, because I tend to slouch, and I slouched a lot. You know, having this baby hair all of a sudden, this is new to you. You're slouching like this. It helped me stay up this way as well. So I recommend it. Next up, I am gonna, although I used this when I was pregnant, but I added it in there because I feel like it helped me, especially when I got to like 8 months pregnant. My back started hurting, and this baby was just too heavy. So it's also like a waist support. It is a waist support. I used to put it on the bottom here on my hips, and when my belly was there, it used to hold up my belly like this. So it used to support me from the back end to help keep my belly up there where it's supposed to be. So I do recommend it if you're having a tough time. If you're having a tough time with your back, etc. while you're pregnant, I recommend this. Next up, I am gonna switch to the baby zone. Blankets. These little things, right? I ordered like three packs of 4, and then I was gifted one at the baby shower. These little things, you can't have enough of them. Let me tell you something. Babies tend to throw up a lot. So I used to, and you can't really put them, seeing that they're newborns, the skin is a bit sensitive, you can't really put them down on any surface, and you'd want to have them with you in the living room, etc. So I used to put this down on the sofa, put him down next to me, and I also used to have this like on my shoulder, like so, for whenever I'm going out with him or whenever I'm feeding him at home as well, because he used to throw up quite a bit. And I didn't really like the fact that whenever he threw up, I'd have to, if I did not have this on, I'd have to physically go and change my entire clothes and try and get my mom to clean down my back, because, yeah. So this helped a lot, quite a bit. I recommend getting as many of these as you can. If you don't use them all. You're gonna use them for probably the next baby, or you can pass them down the family generation, etc. Yes, next, you need this. This is basically a suction thingy. I don't know the exact name for it. I don't remember what it's exactly called, but it's a suction thingy. So your baby is gonna end up with a lot of stuffy nose from all that vomiting that I spoke of a while ago, and you are gonna panic a little because there's gonna be a whole bunch of white things, especially if you're a new mom. There's gonna be a whole bunch of white stuff coming down the nose, and you won't exactly know what to do. And the nose is so tiny that you can't use the wipe to take it out. So you're gonna need this, and you can just like squeeze there, right? And it's gonna pull out whatever is in the nostrils. But if there's like all the white stuff in the mouth, you can also use this to pull it out, because I use it a lot when my son was a newborn. He used to have stuff up there all the time. He didn't like cleaning his nose. He didn't like you touching his face. So I'll just put this in, kind of distract him with the boob, and just, right? So I recommend this. Now, bottle wise, my son did not really use bottles that much. Like, it's only when I went out to a doctor appointment or went somewhere, like to, let's say, a girls' dinner or girls' lunch or whatever, and he stayed with my mom, that's when we use bottles. And these are the bottles that I use. They're Dr. Brown's. They're supposed to help with colic. It has a little straw thingy in there, and when you put the liquid in there, if you're bottle feeding, the straw helps remove the air from this, right? So it prevents gas as well. I believe that's what the doctor said. Yes, so these were the bottles I use. I also use Avent bottles, but I don't have any on hand right now because they're downstairs. But my son did not really bottle feed. He more used the boob. Next, newborn, you're gonna need this. These are like the little mittens that you put on the hands. My son was a scratcher. He's tried to scratch his eyes out. He had scratches all over his face like the second day after he came from his anatomy. For some reason, his nails were razor sharp or his face was super sensitive. It's one or the other. So I used to put this on him all the time. He did not really like it, but he didn't really have a choice. He couldn't take it out. So yeah, you need to get this. I use this. This is like a little nipple biter thing. He did not really like this. He used it like probably 3 times, if that much. Yeah, and he used to put it in his mouth himself. Well, whenever it came out, he'd put his hand to put it back. So I don't feel like this really helped, but I recommend getting a couple of these, because although my son did not really use it, your baby might be into biters and these things. So little pacifiers. Yes, that's what I wanted to say, pacifiers. Next up, I highly recommend, ooh, what did I just do? Getting these. So let me give you a close up. It's basically a little liner that you can put anywhere. My son had a changing table. Like, he had the whole Graco playset thing, the playpen. He had the changing table, the little swing thing that came with the Graco playpen. But I also felt like I didn't necessarily want to get up in the middle of the night, walk to the playpen, put him in the changing table to change his nappy. I wanted to change him on the bed where he was sleeping next to me, because I was a new mom and frankly I had to breastfeed all night. So sometimes he used to poop or pee while you're changing him. You know, kids get messy. So I would just have this whenever I'm sleeping with him. I would have this under him or also underneath myself, right? I would put one, like a liner, like when I lay on my side, I'd have it like this way, right? So when I'm feeding him as well, my milk doesn't like fly all over my bed, and then I have to deal with changing sheets the following morning. So I'd feed him, and if I happen to fall asleep while he's drinking, and then he falls asleep and the boob just left there and milk is flying out, it falls onto this instead of falling onto my sheets, and then I would have to change the following morning again, having a whole bunch of milk stains on my bed. Or while I'm changing his nappy, he decides to fly poop everywhere or fly pee everywhere. This came into hand. It was a good thing to have, so I recommend it. It came as a free pack. I got it from Amazon. I will put in links of everything I got, everything I have in this video. I'm gonna put the links in there for you. Next up, and no, that's not the last one, that's the one before the last. I got him a camera, right? I did not really use the camera a lot, but it came in handy when, for instance, he fell asleep in my mom's room and I wanted to go to the living room to possibly have lunch or something along those lines because the baby's sleeping, so why not run and eat at that point in time? I got the camera, I just simply connected it quickly, had an app on my phone, so when I can see that he's sleeping still and I can keep eating over here. Because you don't necessarily want to wake a sleeping newborn, especially if you're a new mom, you're super tired and you don't want to just leave the baby there. Next thing he ends up suffocating himself with the blanket or vomiting like my son used to do. When you put him to lie on his back, he'd vomit. The vomit would go straight from his mouth into his nose and he would start choking. So I had the camera and I'd keep my eye on it the whole time. So the second he wakes up and starts crying, I'd have it on my phone instead of just leaving him there. So if you don't have as many eyes around to watch your baby, I recommend getting a camera. This one is MobiCam. It has two-way audio and you can simply get an app. Put the app on your phone. That's it. So I recommend this. By the way, these stuff, nothing here is promotional. I wish I was getting paid for this, but I'm not. So next, breast pump. This is the last one, by the way. I recommend this. I got this. Where did I buy this? A friend bought me this from overseas, right? From the US, I believe. I'm not sure if it's Target. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll still put a link for it. It's on Amazon. Got me this. It is not exactly as quiet as I expected it to be, but it came into handy. So when my son went to sleep, right, since he mainly drank from this boob, this one used to be swollen and hard as hell, and I needed to find some way to ease the pain that I was feeling on this end. So I'd pump just one side, fold the little bags. It came with bags, and I also bought extra bags to put the milk in. So I'd feel these little bags that's in here. Let me open it to show you guys exactly what the bag look like. This is the bag. You open it here, fill it in, close it back, and you can put the milk in the freezer and store it for another day. So I used to put a lot of milk in the freezer because I used to have a lot of milk. I was blessed with a lot of milk. Put a lot of milk in the freezer. Whenever I stepped out, went to my doctor's appointment, etc. without my son, my mom would have frozen milk that she could simply put out, heat up, feed him. I didn't have to be there. It worked out perfectly. I recommend the pump. Yeah, it's not as quiet as it should be, but it works and it comes in handy. So that being said, this is about everything. I did not include baby clothes. You guys know you guys need the little baby clothes, the little onesies, the little, the little rags, the little blankies, etc. The little hats as well for if you're in the cold countries. So that's about it. If I missed anything, I possibly might put another video in there of what I missed. But that's pretty much mainly everything that I used after I came from the hospital. So I do recommend getting these. I also recommend getting, okay, I don't remember right now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I wish you guys a safe delivery. And yeah, good luck with that little baby. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.